Hey Facebook, welcome back to another doll unboxing video. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 out of the 5 new signature dolls for the main line of characters for G3 Monster High. I am so excited to finally be able to get into these. These literally really are new releases. Like, we got the stock photos not that long ago. I made a whole dedicated video about how excited I was. And they have only been available in the US on Amazon for a little bit. Like, it's not like they've been around forever, but I just feel like my feed has been inundated with other people unboxing these dolls. And so I've just been sitting here like, I want to do it too. I want to get there, but I wanted to be able to do all 3 in the same video. No judgment, obviously, to anyone who does separate videos, but that is what you guys seem to prefer over here, is like multiple dolls in one unboxing video. And specifically, Miss Lagoona here was giving me so much trouble. Like, Cleo and Draculaura were available for like a week or 2 before Lagoona, which again, I understand that's not actually that much time. I'm just impatient. Okay, I fully get that. But I was just like, please, I need my Lagoona. But she's finally here, so we can finally do the video, finally unbox these. And I'm just really excited to be able to do so. So first, we have to go through my doll buying rubric. I'm going to try to go in order, so like Draculaura, Lagoona, Cleo here. I'm going to try to keep this consistent. So for Draculaura, for emotions, she got a 3. I am excited for her, but like, it's not a crazy strong feeling, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm happy about her. I'm very glad that I've purchased her, but it's not like a overwhelming sensation. Need to customize, she also gets a 3 because I do think I might want to like add some things, paint a few accessories. Quality, she gets a 5. Number of pieces, a 4, just to account for some of like the little food accessories because I'm not always completely sold on those. And then a 3 for uniqueness. I at this point, I feel like it would be difficult for me to give a Draculaura higher than a 3 just because they make so many of her. But she still got a score of 18, which does mean that because she was around like 26 US dollars, she was still good to buy full price. Then for Lagoona here in the middle, we gave her a 4 for emotion, a 4 for need to customize because I think I might end up redoing the hair. I haven't quite decided yet. A 5 for quality, and then a 4 for number of pieces I like. And then uniqueness, she got a 4. I just feel like this combo, this outfit is quite strange. It's quite polarizing. A lot of people hate it, which is fine. Like, it's not a big deal. But I think she got like a little extra points for that. So her total was a score of 21. And then Cleo got a 4 in emotion, a 5 in need to customize. I just fully plan on popping her on my shelf. Quality a 5, number of pieces I like a 4, and then uniqueness a 3, just because I do feel like it's a unique outfit, but it's like, I don't know, fairly everyday wear. Like, they are the core looks. That's sort of the point. It's not anything against her. It's just I gotta stick to the scale. But she did also get a 21. So all 3 were definitely chill for me to purchase, which I feel like I have proven since I made this rubric that I tend to be pretty good about making these purchases. But it is nice to like have the sort of numerical proof of that because I'm a little bit of a nerd. Now, really quick, just to look at these dolls. In the box, we have Draculaura here, and the boxes have updated. I'm trying to like, I can't see. I don't have like the fancy camera where you can like see what you look like. So I hope the glare is not too bad for y'all. But yeah, instead of like the type of boxes where there might be tabs on the top that you can sort of like lift it open like a lid and slide the whole panel with the doll out, this is just, I know there's a name for it and I'm completely blanking on it, but the back is fully cardboard and then it's just, I'm trying to peel up one of the corners and I'm under so much pressure. There we go. Come on. Just to demonstrate. So it just peels off like that. And that's how it opens up, which is different. I don't mind it. I don't really have opinions on packaging most of the time. Oh, and then on the back, you get some information about Draculaura as a character, and then we've got art of all of the different dolls that are included in this lineup. Pretty standard, I would say. Then Miss Lagoona, same sort of situation, but just different information on the back there. And then same for Cleo. I will say, y'all know I'm like a fat G3 defender. But one thing that G1 definitely had on G3 is that there was definitely a lot more information on these bios in the back. Like, this is just monster type, monster must have, and monster pet. The type and the pet don't change every release, right? Because like Draculaura is still a vampire. She still has the same pet, except for Cleo. Cleo, she did get Hisset instead of Tut in this line. I feel like they haven't included Tut in a hot second. He might have been phased out. But Yeah, like it's just there's not really a lot of information on the back. And in G1, you got, I feel like, more information on the back of the signature dolls plus the entire diary. I don't know. That's neither here nor there for this video. I'm just kind of talking. But we're going to pause the talking for a second so that I can go ahead and unbox these dolls off camera, and then we will reconvene to see what they come with and discuss their quality and have a wonderful time doing so. So I will see y'all in a moment. Alrighty, as you can see, we've gotten everyone unboxed. Two of our girls are facing backwards, and actually I need to face Draculaura backwards too, because we got to do accessories first. I have so many thoughts, you guys. Starting off with the fact that I really do like the change in the style of boxes. I just feel like that was so easy to get out. Like I just like ripped the whole back open, and it was just, I don't know. I personally found it a lot simpler to get into it, which is nice. I kind of typically have a little bit of a struggle unboxing dolls because my hands are iffy, and so it's just like cool for it to be a little bit simpler. But yeah, laid out here, we're going to go through Draculaura first, then Lagoona, then Cleo, then we're going to discuss final thoughts and favorites and least favorite things. And I am quite optimistic, okay? Sometimes I like unbox dolls, and even during the unboxing I'm like, shit, I have to point this out, I have to point this out, I have to point this out, like this is bad, oh no. And I kind of had the opposite. I had some very pleasant surprises. There were still some not so great things for sure. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I definitely had some very good reaction. So to start off with Draculaura here, her bag is just a like pretty plain skelet bag. I do think this is like one of my least favorite pieces. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't feel unique to her. I think that's the thing, is like it's not even as though this is very clearly her skeleton with like a painted on like vampire fangs or anything like that. Not that I necessarily would have liked that. I think it might have been a little, I don't know, it could have gone a little cheesy, but at least it would feel like her. I don't really love that this is just like a super generic bag, but on the opposite side, maybe you do love it because this means you can throw this bag on literally any character. So it's fine. It's just really not like my favorite thing. Then she has some heart sunglasses, which are fairly simplistic. Again, you're seeing a theme here. It's not going to last forever, but these are pretty simplistic. I don't think that's a bad thing though. Like, it's okay if things are a little simple sometimes. There's like teensy little bat wings on the corner here. It looks like bat wings. Yeah, teensy little baby bat wings, which I do think is like a cute little addition. And then Count Fabulous, we have in a new pose, this time like kind of cuddled up. I think it's sweet. Like he just looks so cozy. Wholesome content. And then we get into some of the cooler things. Okay, we've got her eye coffin, which is, pardon me, I just had a whole coughing fit. Okay. This eye coffin is just about as detailed as like previous ones that we've seen, but it is nice to see that they are maintaining that level of detail, because I do want to plant the seed in here that part of the problem, and it is fine if you feel this way, but part of the critique that these dolls got was that they were more simplistic than previous iterations, and I understand, but I have some thoughts on it, so I'm just putting that in there now. But this is like about the same as before. I do think the back is pretty cute with like the bat ears molded on. I don't know. It's fun. And then she has some RIP noodles here. It's like a little cup of noodles, which is pretty darn cute. But these next few accessories I think are definitely the most impressive. I just dropped part of one. My bad. So first is she has like a little makeup tube. I don't know if this is supposed to be lipstick. I don't know. I That's my inclination, is it looks like maybe a lip gloss, and then she is wearing pink lips. So the pink applicator, it's the wrong color. Hello, there we go. But it could be that. Either way, I do think it's really cute that it is in two separate pieces. It's loose. Now it's not going to fall, but it fell when I picked it up, so you do have to be a little careful. But like, it's a cute little detail, and I like that they're just adding some functionality to it, and that continues on. So we've got like this Pocky container. So it's got the printed on detail and like the printed Pocky in here and everything, but you can actually close it. Mine's a little tight, but you can close the box. And I just think that's absolutely precious. Like they didn't have to do that, but it's a very cute inclusion. And then lastly, for her accessories, we have, hold on, I guess I'll show it to you this way. So here is a thermos, right? Looks pretty normal. And then we have like a little cup. also looks pretty normal. It does have, it looks like maybe hot chocolate in there. That's like my first thought is the brown with the white. I'm like, oh, hot chocolate and marshmallows. But it actually does like snap on there so that it can be like a bigger thermos. And I just love that. I just think it's really, really cute that it's like an extra way to display dolls or pose dolls for photography or for kids to play. Like I think that's really fun. They definitely didn't have to do that, but I think it's quite precious that they did. I'm gonna go get a cough drop because I still feel like I might cough again, and I don't want to subject y'all to that anymore. And then we'll look at Draculaura. Okay, so now we can get into Draculaura. Her hair out of the box. This is a disaster. This is really bad. Like it's just sort of a tangled, clumped together mess. The rooting looks good. Rooting looks pretty solid, but it's definitely in need of a wash. And I also have like a few loose hairs. Just I'm gonna pluck them straight up. I don't know if y'all do that or if that's like blasphemous to you, but sometimes if there's like a doll hair that's bothering me, God, there's a few. I really will just pluck or cut them right off. So not a problem anymore. But I showed that it was. I've done my due diligence. She does have like a half up, half down style with the pigtails, and then it's down in the back. It is a split dye, but it's also sort of color blocked, which I think is just so cute. I love that, how it's pink here and then pink there, creating sort of like a grid. And then there's also a pink bow on the mostly black half, and then a black bow on the mostly pink half. And I'm a sucker for stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's very cute. Then her face. So this is definitely, I think, where most people's complaints came in. Like there was complaint about the fashion too, but I saw a lot of people who were mostly upset about the faces just being a little bit less dramatic than some of the other faces that we've gotten recently. And I do understand it. I think there might be two things at play here. It could be because it's a core look, not like a themed look. And like you definitely can make the comparison to the first core refresh and say that those were more dramatic. That's perfectly fair. But I also saw some people comparing them to like the more recent Skulltimate Secrets lines. And I don't know, I guess it's just subjective. Like, I do think it sort of makes sense that the makeup would be more dramatic on a themed line versus an everyday line. But that could just be me. Obviously, again, you're like free to believe these things and like feel these ways. I'm just sort of talking it through. Her face is definitely more simplistic than other screenings that we've gotten, but I do think that it's perfectly cute. Like, she looks really, really good. I especially love the little hint of like silver right under her crease. Come on. There we go. Like it's a tiny little hint, and I think it's really, really pretty. Then she's got these white, like hoop and dangling heart earrings. She has a black sort of matching heart necklace. But the sweater, y'all, is the star of the show. Like I really just want to be able to talk about this. This is so insane. It's so good. This is like a real like knit sweater. It's so, so nice. And then the 3D bows on it. I am obsessed with this. I think it's so cutie. Like I don't know, I just think it's absolutely adorable and I really appreciate again those 3D details and the fact that it's not I mean, we've seen before, mostly from like super cheap Barbies, but like Mattel will print shit on. They would print a sweater print on. So the fact that this is like actual fabric and it's like fluffy and soft is so I just love it so 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 much. The fabric of her skirt and shirt is definitely thinner, but it doesn't necessarily feel cheap. It's sort of just the nature of this fabric that's like got all this metallicness to it. I think it's always going to be a little bit thinner unless it's layered with something else. But it definitely doesn't feel like, oh my God, this is paper. This is horrific, at least not to me. She does have ribbon straps on top. They're kind of hard to see because they match her skin tone so well. But they are like ribbons. It's not, I don't know, elastic or anything like that. I don't know. I just like these little details. I think it's so, so nice. And more 3D bows here at sort of like the hip bone points. And then moving on down, she has, again, fabric leg warmers. Thank God. I think that plastic leg warmers are some of my least favorite things on dolls because it's just like a like a plastic scrunchie, okay? Lagoona, I don't even know if this doesn't really look like it's intended to be a scrunchie to me, but we'll just pretend it is. A plastic scrunchie I can sort of understand because we have seen fabric scrunchies for dolls, but I do get that it's like a scale thing, it's a little bit harder. I can sort of understand that. But I mean, it's literally just not completed socks, right? Like leg warmers are just like a fabric tube. And it's something that feels so quintessentially like it has to be fabric to look right. I don't know. I have a personal vendetta against plastic leg warmers, and I am delighted that we got actual fabric leg warmers for this release. And then she's got like really chunky shoes going on here. There, I'll give you a better look without the leg warmer in the way. They're almost giving like chunky loafers, sort of, which normally wouldn't be my thing, but like, I don't know, they work. They work for her. I just think this is so precious. We are also going to see with these dolls that the shoes are more simplistic, and honestly, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. We're going to skip around a little bit, and I'm going to show you Lagoona shoes. Like, the sculpting is really impressive. Do not get me wrong. I'm not like trying to insult the sculptors, but it's significantly less detail than we typically see on Monster High shoes. And I genuinely think this is kind of nice because you're still getting something. Like, she's got a whole fin under her heel here. Like, it's not like they're super plain shoes, but I think in a world where so many Monster High shoes are just so detailed, these actually stand out more. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense or if I'm just crazy. I just, especially these, something about these is I love them. I love them so much, but I'm supposed to talk about her accessories before I get to her, so let's do that. So starting off, we've got a new Neptuna. I feel like this one's going to balance really well. On my hand, that was kind of dumb. But like on a shelf or on a table, I feel like she balances well, which is nice because some of the other ones I don't know have balanced quite as well. God, I'm so sorry, y'all. I have no idea what's happening. If you hear my voice going out, I'm literally trying so hard not to cough, and I have a cough drop in. I have no idea what's going on. Wow, I'm sorry if I just sound like shit this whole video. Anyway, Lagoona's bag. A little bit more detailed and a little bit more personalized than Draculaura's. I really like this. It's a simple shape, but I like the painted detail of the dead fish on the front. And I'm a sucker for transparent plastic. Y'all know this, so of course I like it. Same thing for her water bottle. Why do I like this so much? It has little sculpted details of like plants on here, which is interesting. And then the pink top. Something about this specific color too is just, whoo, it's good. It's good. For sunglasses, we do have a repeat. Lagoona did have these in, I believe, was it her Monster Fest doll, but in a different color? I understand being upset by it, but like for me, I'm chill because I love those sunglasses. I just think they're so cute. Ironically, none of my Lagoonas are wearing them. But I really like them. The transparent seashells. It's just, it's so cutie to me. This part bothers me. This is certainly a lip gloss lipstick tube. It has lips on it. It's purple. Mm, mm. And like, I know it could be one of those glosses, like 99% of glosses, I feel like. I also have a personal vendetta against lip gloss. Because why are you going to give me a purple lip gloss that is clear? Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of on one today. Like, it could still be what she's wearing, but I just feel like it would have been better if they made this in the actual color of the lip makeup that she's wearing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky. That bothered me, though. I cannot lie. Her phone is in the same sort of purple with an octopus on the back, which is really cool. It almost like feels sort of like a pop socket. God, my camera is not focusing. I'm like struggling today. But just because of where the octopus's head is and like how thick it is, it sort of reminds me of a pop socket. Like she would be using that to hold her phone. I don't know. I just think it's funny and kind of cutie. Two more things. She has this sort of like goldfish knockoff, which we have seen before, but this one is wasabi flavored, which is new, which I do think is fun. There's no printing anywhere else though, and if I'm recalling correctly, I think the other ones have had printing sort of all around. So there is that, but like it's cute. And then lastly, she has it looks sort of like a corn dog, except instead of like the stick at the end, it's a tentacle, which is just so silly. I don't know. There's just something a little bit whimsical and goofy about it that I do really genuinely appreciate. But now we can get back to Lagoona. I've kind of brought her up a couple times as examples, but now we can dedicate some time to her. So checking the rooting, I feel like she looks pretty solid as well. Not too bad at all. And then her face, the scales look so good. I love this sort of scale that they're doing for her now. I feel like they've really figured it out, you know? Like it just looks more symmetrical than some of the other ones that we've gotten. I don't know. Her makeup I do think is decently fun. Like she's got almost little like bubble bumps on her eyeshadow. That probably made no sense at all. I don't know. I think she's cute. I love the transparent fish earrings. Like that is just so, again, I'm a sucker for transparent plastic. I really think it looks cute. But in the intro I did say I was thinking of giving her a different hairstyle. I like the idea of this, but it just like the way it sits I think is not right. I don't think that the twist up here right in the front looks good because you can sort of like see some of the plugs and it looks a little bit weird. And also I am like a believer that if a half up, half down is this high up on your head, like if you have a half up and it's like you've pulled some of this to the back and like this is in a ponytail and then this is down, obviously it makes sense to not see that from the front. But if you have a half up, half down and it's this far on the front of your head, I need to be able to see that in the front or else I think it looks weird. But because it's just this little like twist, it sort of just hangs pretty limply. And so you just have this weird, like, bead looking thing on top of her head. So that, I like I like the concept. I hadn't thought that I was going to redo her hair based on the stock photos necessarily, but like, I think in the stock photos it was sitting a little more like that. And even that in person, it's just, I don't know. We might have to rework that one just a little bit. But I like the blend for her hair. It's mostly the blonde, a little bit of the purple and blue in the front there. So it's definitely salvageable. Then we get down to the contentious bits of this Lagoona for sure, which is her outfit. So starting off, we have a layered purple necklace, which is, you know, perfectly fine. I kind of don't have feelings about that one because I'm so focused on the clothes. Because I love the clothes. I know it's controversial. That's fine. I think they're so fun. This print, like the sort of abstract, it almost looks like a gemstone or something on the top is so cool. And then it's got these attached sleeves, but I do think it would be like insanely easy to cut these off if you hate how they look. Um, like if you wait for a sale and you get the stall and you want this tank top part but not these sleeves, I feel like it'd be very easy to cut that off. Personally, I really like the sleeves. I don't know, I just think they're fun. I think they're weird and interesting and different. I like all the colors because Lagoona historically has had like quite colorful dolls this generation, and so it's kind of cool to see her still repping that, still having all these different almost like tie-dye effect. I think the ruching is very strange and very interesting. I just like it. I don't know. I can't explain myself. She does have a transparent blue bracelet on this arm. And then my favorite piece of hers is this gorgeous maxi skirt that, again, very contentious. It's fine. It's for me, okay? It might not be for you. It is for me. The actual drawstrings, not like, I don't think they pull. No, they don't pull, but like they're there, you know, like they're separate drawstrings. The insane metallic printing on here is so pretty, and it does carry all the way around the back. Okay, they did not skimp out. We've got like some athletic stripes down the side, which honestly normally wouldn't be necessarily my cup of tea, just because it's not like my favorite style. But I do think Lagoona has a little bit of a sportier personality, and especially for her core looks, she does tend to wear things that have like a little bit of that sporty edge to them. So I do think it's really fitting for her. It is slit up the sides to accommodate for her fins. I just love it, okay? I just love it. Part of that is certainly that I am just a proponent for maxi skirts on dolls because I don't think we get to see enough of them. But I love it. I think she looks so cute. Interestingly, she does have the old style of legs. So I don't know if this is like they're only going to do the new legs on select dolls or if this is just like the last remnant, like they had already sort of started production before they decided to change the legs. I truly don't know. But she has the old legs. I am very curious to see if subsequent batches change the legs or if they're all going to look like this. I'm kind of nosy about that one. And then we already went over her shoes. So safe to say, I'm obsessed. I just love her. She's so cute. She made me wait, but she was worth the wait. Okay, and that brings us to my girl Cleo. You know, she's always a favorite on the channel here. She has got some of the best and also some of the worst accessories. So let's jump in. First is Hisette, who's like in this sort of reclined pose, like she's like almost resting her head on her hand, but she doesn't have a hand, so it's a tail. I do think that's pretty clever and quite precious of them to do. Then we've got her sunglasses, which are a disappointment to me, I cannot lie. I don't love the style. And also I really much prefer when they do semi-transparent ones, so it's like believable that they could see out of the sunglasses. Cause like if we put this on her, like now I literally can't see any of her face. I don't know. I just don't think it works for me personally. It's fine. It obviously didn't stop me from getting the doll. I don't know. I think it would have been better if the lenses were just a little bit more transparent. Then she's got her phone, which is upside down. Now it's correct. This is pretty cool. I don't know how to feel about the bronze because it's like the only bronze thing she has. And I just why are we doing that? I think Nephra had this same situation where her phone was bronze and everything else was gold. And I'm just for what? For what? But the sculpting is really cute, so there's that at least. I'm just kind of particular. I'm trying to go through all of like the neutral items. Then she has a hand scream bottle. Good God, it will not focus today. I think that's as good as I can get. But I do think that that's kind of funny. Hand scream. And especially as a mummy, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's like drying out. I don't know. And then her bag here is mostly gold with like all of this sculpted detail. It looks very much like the walls of like ancient Egyptian ruins, which is super sick and obviously quite appropriate. And then the handles here. Lagoona is the only one who has the bag that has anything you could. Let's use our words correctly. Lagoona is the only one who has a bag that you could put anything into, at least out of the three that I have here. There we go. We got there in the end. But yeah, even though you can't put anything in it, I do think it's cute. This is like chunky though. Like it's got some heft. Let's go over the worst accessory. I know I like talked about the sunglasses. The worst accessory though is this. It has a lid, which is cool, but really eerie smoothie just typed out in like a default font. That's kind of rough. Like when you look at something like Rip Noodles, eerie smoothie, that it's just crazy. Like that's so. I would have rather them reused old assets on her drink than done that. That just looks so silly goofy. But then we've got some really, really cool ones. So this first one is pyramid chocolate, which does look quite a lot like a Toblerone. I've never actually had Toblerone. Fun fact about me. It does have a little like opening and closing mechanism because there's literally chocolate inside. Like, hello? That is so cute that there's literally what? I just again that's like a level of detail I did not expect. But this next piece I think is my favorite. I don't know why. Really, truly, I have no idea what's going on. But it's like a little salad container, and the lid comes off. Why does that amuse me so? I literally couldn't tell you. But I'm genuinely obsessed. Like I started out when G3 came out being like, yeah, the food's fine, it's for kids, it's whatever. The more we get it, I feel like the more detailed the food gets, like the pocky and the salad. I really want to find a way to do like a display featuring like all of these foods. Like I want to do like a big table, like they're like a potluck or something. I don't know, like they're all sitting together for lunch. I need to find a way to display this food because I'm just keeping it because it genuinely is so cute. It's converted me, but I don't know how to display it yet. So we'll have to get there at some point. But Cleo herself, the fun part. Let's grab her and take a little look. I guess for the other two, I did do hair first. I should do that for Cleo as well. And again, the rooting looks really nice. So that's a plus that I don't think there's any rooting issues. This was almost certainly me. If you just saw that piece of hair just straight up come off, that was almost certainly me during the unboxing process. So please don't hold that against. I feel sure that that was my fault. Now, one thing I will say, I had to order two Cleos. This is my second one because the first one was missing some lip liner in this corner. And I was like, okay, that sucks, but like, I'll just unbox her anyway and I'll repaint it. Like, it's just a tiny thing. And then I realized her irises were also painted like partially over her lash line. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was like instead of her eye being clearly inside her eye, it was like up top where it shouldn't be. And that I was just like, that's too much effort. We're not repainting all of that. So I did have to do a return and get a different one of her. Clearly the second one is significantly better. I still think her mouth isn't like quite perfect. Sorry, I'm trying to like stare at her. But it's definitely a lot better. So just if you are worried about that, definitely I would say wait until these hit stores, so you can see them in person, because it is, something I gotta note. But I do think the makeup is really cute. I think the lip liner is a very nice touch. She's got so many colors of her eyeshadow too. Like she really went all out, which is why I think it's interesting. Like I think at first glance, this certainly does seem more simplistic than some of her designs, but like she's got a lot going on there. I don't know. She's got these funky little like not intertwined, but like hooped snakes for earrings, and a super cool set of very long dangling necklaces. But the shirt, y'all, I love the shirt so much. There's just so much going on, and I love it. So we've got like ribbons for straps and ribbons just hanging off. There's like a turtleneck element to it. It is like split up to just under her bust. We've got a cool pattern. The fishnet, like it's a lot. I get it. It's not going to be for everybody, but I am, in fact, deeply obsessed with the shirt. And she's got a lot of jewelry just in general. She's got a purple snake bracelet on this side, and then like a gold cuff, and then two gold cuffs on this side. There's a lot going on for Miss Girl. And then her pants. I love her pants. I love her pants. They're just so fun. The metallic really hits you hard, and I'm super into it. The ribbons trailing down like little mummy wraps is super cute. And this is insane. I was not ready for this. This is a pocket. Like, I have my fingernail in here. This is a functioning pocket. Have I ever seen that on a Monster Idol? Hello? Like, I know we got used to that with Rainbow and Shadow High for a hot minute, but I don't know if I've ever had a G3 doll with functioning pockets before. I'm trying to look around. Maybe the second core Lagoona, like the first core refresh Lagoona. I'm trying to look around, but I can't spot her easily from where I'm at. Maybe she did, but I just was very impressed with that. I like the cuff at the bottom, like the sort of baggy fit. It's just, oh, I just love them. And the pattern again goes all the way around, so it's not like one of those cheap ass things that it cuts off halfway through. And again, we've got pretty simple shoes, but I really genuinely do think that they're fairly impactful for being simple because they stand out more. I don't know. But they're like mostly wraps, and then they have snakes for the heels. And I just love her. But that means that I can get into my final thoughts here. So I did earlier in the video say I wanted y'all to think about the fact that like the complaint is they seem a little bit more simplistic. And again, I get it. Like I'm not trying to say that people are incorrect, but having these in person now, I do think that it might be more of a thing of they're putting their focus on different facets of the doll, like the faces. I mean, Cleo's I think is reasonably complicated, but like Draculaura's is certainly a very simplistic face. But she comes with so many 3D and cloth elements that Mattel very, very easily could have used like plastic for or just not included all the bows. Like, they would do that shit. And then you can see, sorry, my God, I think I just sounded like I was about to cry, and that straight up was just me trying not to cough again. What is happening? Like the Pocky opening up, the thermos having like a separate cap. So it's very clear to me. And like the leg warmers being fabric leg warmers. It feels like they're just diverting the like budgets into different aspects. And I had this thought too, am I crazy or is this more accessories than we've gotten with previous core dolls? Like I absolutely am open to being wrong on that one. It just felt like I kept opening thing after thing after thing after thing, and there were so many accessories. So I'm wondering if maybe they're putting more detail into the accessories and putting maybe more accessories in because maybe that's selling better with kids, and maybe like because they're core looks they want them to have like more accessories to go with them. I don't know, I'm not a part of Mattel or Monster High or anything like that. That's just kind of my theory because like the Toblerone, the pyramid, like that's crazy to me, that level of detail. And like Cleo has genuine pockets, which is not necessarily typical for what we get from Mattel at a playline level. And so I'm thinking maybe it's not that these dolls are inherently so much cheaper or so much more simplistic. Like, I genuinely think they might just be focusing sort of on different aspects. And I think the other very, very interesting thing is, again, like with the simplistic, the other sort of sub complaint with that is that these don't necessarily have the same level of personalization. I mean, you saw it like with the bag, but specifically Draculaura, I think got a lot of flack with this one because her whole outfit, like outside of the color scheme, if you recolored this, it could go on any doll, right? I mean, even with the pink and black, it could go on any doll. And even Lagoona, like she has sea like elements. Like this is very reminiscent of seaweed, the print on her skirt, but it's not over the top. And like Cleo has a pattern that I think works with her mummy theming, but I also think you could definitely, especially like if you cut off the ribbons, that could go on a different doll. And like these pants could go on a different doll. So it seems to me like maybe this is something where they are trying to make clothes that are more mix and matchable because like historically speaking, Monster High clothes are so themed that it's like you still can use them for restyles, but most of the pieces are very clearly going to scream one of the characters. And I wonder if maybe they're like, okay, we want to try to do something that still feels like the character, but also is a little bit more mix and matchable. I don't know. This is again just a theory, but after having the dolls physically in hand, like I was a fan of them anyway. Like I said, I made a whole dedicated video about being excited for these. I was a fan anyway. And I just was sort of in the mindset of like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily look like Draculaura exclusive outfit, and her face is a little simple, but I love her anyway. And now I'm like, those things are true. Again, I'm not trying to say that you aren't allowed to be upset about that. Like, if your favorite thing about Monster High is really nice face sculpts, or not face sculpts, really nice face screenings, yeah, maybe these are a little bit boring for you. And so I'm not trying to say you shouldn't feel that way, but my perspective has sort of shifted now having these in person where it feels less like, oh, these are just like happen to be less detailed and like less character themed. And it feels a lot more like they're trying to put more attention into maybe the accessories and maybe trying intentionally to make them more mix and matchable. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments because that's just my little pet theory. Again, after having like had the dolls in hand, but I could be totally off. That being said, we have to get into my favorite and least favorite things, and this is so hard because I genuinely like I'm obsessed. I'm so happy with most of what we got here. I would say my least favorite things are the fact that I had to get a second Cleo, and I think a couple of her accessories, these two mostly, are a little lame. But my favorite things are the amount of detail in the accessories and the amount of detail in the clothes. Because again, even though they're not necessarily the most thematic, I feel like they are really like well constructed, nice clothes. Like I'm so happy about the 3D elements. I'm so happy about the pockets. This skirt just it feels incredible. Like it really genuinely feels incredible to me. So I don't know. For me they really work. Again, like I get it if it's not for everyone because everyone likes different things about dolls, you know. Some people hair is their favorite part. Some people faces are their favorite part. Some people the clothes are the favorite part. So it's, you know, understandable that not everyone is going to like these, but I'm really vibing with these. Honestly, even more than I thought I would. Like I thought I was going to like these and be like, "Boop, cool, excited to put this on my shelf." I really really like these. I would love if Monster High made like fashion packs, yes, or like in the very beginning of G3, they did a like style pack with Claudine where you got a doll and like a bunch of extra clothes for her. I would love if they did that with this sort of mindset. I know it wouldn't be for everybody, but I think it would be really, really cool to get more pieces and especially more pieces that you could sort of like mess around with who they go on. I don't know. I'm yapping away at this point. Point is, I'm really happy. I love all these dolls. I'm super excited that I get to wash them up and add them to my collection, but I'm going to stop yapping. Y'all let me know who's your favorite, what your thoughts are on the line as a whole. Have you changed your mind now that you've like either gotten them or seen people unbox them from when you just saw stock photos? I'm nosy. Let me know your thoughts. But that is going to be it for me for today, y'all. I do hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.